right, I wanted to go over the 90-90 because I think it's a really important movement for the health of your hips. So we're going to start with a couple different progressions and variations and show you how I use them in different ways. So the first one, I usually use this if I'm just warming up and getting my hips moving, or I use this for clients who are unable to sit upright. So if you're just starting off doing the 90-90s, I would suggest starting with this variation of it. So you're going to start with your legs a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You want to keep your chest proud, and then you're going to place your hands on the ground behind you, just like this. How far apart your legs should be will vary depending on how long your legs are. So we'll have to play around with it a bit. So we just start about a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, chest proud. And what you're going to do is you're going to drop both your knees in one direction. So what you're looking for is to have two 90-degree angles with your legs. And that will determine how far apart your legs should be. So you can play around with moving them until you have the 90 degrees, and then you'll pop back up. So for now, keeping the hands on the ground, we're just going to rock our hips from side to side. I'm really pressing that knee into the ground. If this feels good to you, what we can start to do is work towards not using our hands. So you want to sit up, right, a little bit more. We can go hands free. So from here, I'm going to drop both my knees in one direction. If I'm warming up for a workout or for a run, I'm going to try to keep it a little bit more dynamic. So what I like to do is I'll drop my knees, my hands come behind my head, or I'll cross them over my body, and I'm going to lead with my sternum towards my calf. So I'm just going down until I feel a stretch on the outside of my hip. Pause there for a second. Drive, so I'm pushing that leg into the ground to push me up, and then I'll transition over to the other side. Something to be mindful about when you're doing your transition is to make sure your back isn't rounding here. So you want to try your best to keep a tall spine, and then drop it in the other direction. Again, I have my two 90-degree angles, turning my torso to be perpendicular to the lead shin, and drive down, leading with the sternum. Right, so if I'm warming up, I'm just going to go back and forth between those two positions and keep it dynamic, keep it moving. If I'm going to wind down before bed, I might grab a pillow, I might just drop my elbows to the ground and feel a stretch like this. Or if I'm cooling down after a good workout, I might hang out in this position for a little bit longer too. So, and the last thing to note is just where we're orienting our chest. So when we're in this 90-90 position, you want to try your best not to be outside of your legs. So you want to prop yourself up as best you can. If you need to use this hand to even to help you with this too, you can. You want to try to lead your torso so that it's driving over the shin. If this feels really good for you, you can start working towards progressing and playing with different angles, and maybe orienting my chest towards my foot and moving in this direction. Sometimes what I also like to do is I'll move like a clock. So I'll come off to the side, we hit different angles, hit different heads of the glutes, right? Come back up. And I'll work like this. So it's usually a little easier on this side, and as I work my way this way, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So just play around with that. You can explore the movement here. Right, and just remember to breathe as you're doing it. Yeah, so much tighter on this side. You might be able to get one more. Curl your fingers if you'd like. Good. All right, so hopefully that's a really good breakdown of the 90-90. I know it can be a confusing exercise for a lot of people, so give it a try.